are you today, Anja?
Hey, I'm great. Hi, Michelle. How are you?
I'm good. It's so good to see you. And you are in Stuttgart right now. Is that correct?
That's so true. Yes, I'm here already for a week. I'm shooting for a crime story. And
now, what kind of crime story is it? Is it for television?
yes, yeah, it's a series, and I'm one of the lead actors for that one episode.
Fantastic. And I just want to give the audience a little bit of background. You and I met in Berlin, Germany, and we were doing a musical together,
Yes.
Damn Yankees.
Oh, yeah.
So can you tell our audience how you got started in the performing arts and what made you decide to do this for your job?
Okay, actually, my first interest started really when I was 4. And I was with my parents in the circus. This was like the total typical, like maybe every little girl has. I was sitting there and it was like a very small circus actually, but they had horses. And there was this total family, like father, mother, and 2 children. And they did this horseback riding and making tricks and stuff like that. And I saw that and I totally fall in love with that. And from the circus idea at the beginning, I really want to run away and go with a circus. Like when I was like 4, 5, 6, I thought, oh, I have to leave town and have to go with them. And and like when I was 6, it came into my mind that I really would love to be an actress. And I talked to my friend and I told her, and she was like, yeah, of course, you're going to be an actress. And that was for me, so important that my best friend at that time, that she was like, so yeah, you can do that, you will do that. And and then it took a long time to tell my parents, and because they were not so happy, they were more like looking for that I'm doing like medicine or that I'm gonna be a lawyer, stuff like that. Like every parent probably.
Well, I noticed that in the last 10 years, you have been doing more film and television work. So do you want to talk about what made you choose to go into that part of film? I mean, that part of the business rather than staying on stage, even though I know you still do musicals. You just did Sister Act.
Yes, I just did that. Yeah, I'm totally in love with musical still. But to be very honest, it's like right at the beginning, even when I was 6, I always want to be like an actress. And I didn't know what to do and how to start to get in contact with theater. And then I thought, okay, the best way is like starting with ballet. So I started with ballet with 8. And so like when I turned 18 and I had my last examination in school, it was, to be honest, the easiest way, because I was already singing in choirs and stuff like that. So I could sing, I could dance, and I really want to act. And so musical was like really coming up. And in Germany, I mean, in America, it was always there. But in Germany, it was like really like booming. Musical was booming. And so I thought, okay, it would be a good idea. Maybe I should start and make something into a musical. And but after a while, like when my child was born, I was like sitting there at night a lot and was waiting for him to fall asleep. And then I was sat down on my couch and I really thought, what was the really first thought of yourself? That what do you want to do? And then I came back to the fact that I really want to be an actress, like not with singing and dancing, but with like just being an actress. And so I started to focus on that. And in the minute that I focused on it, it really happened. It just happened somehow.
I feel that you have one of those work ethics where you really do focus on what you want to do. And I've seen how hard you work. The casting and the audition situation might be a little bit different in Europe. And actually, my students have been asking me about this. I have one student who goes to Italy a lot. I think she has family that works there. She's been asking me about working in Europe. So can you tell the listeners how you do go to auditions and book things?
It's totally different than in America because if you don't have an agent in Germany, you don't get in contact with any kind of castings. That's absolutely mainly not working at all. You have to have an agent. Like, for example, I have a good connection to Great Britain and they have like Spotlight. And so you just look on Spotlight. They like have all these sites and you can have a look like what kind of roles would fit on me. We don't have that in Germany. I don't know if they have that in Italy actually, but in Germany we have to know the casting directors and your agent has to get in contact with the casting directors, or sometimes you can make your own connections with the casting directors, but if you don't do that, it doesn't work. That's how it is.
And you recently were on season 5 of one of my favorite shows, Outlander. And how did you get that show?
Yeah, that was just because of Spotlight, actually, because my agent, she has a good connection to Great Britain, and I got an invitation to make a self-tape for Ute McGillivray. It's not a huge part, but I was like really blessed that I got that. I just did my self-tape and I would say a couple of minutes after they got my self-tape, I had the feeling like an hour later, they already called me if I can get in contact. I mean, my agent got a call. Yeah, and then it went everything very fast. Like in Great Britain, everything is fast.
That's wonderful. So is Spotlight like our backstage? You know backstage,
of course,
right?
yeah. Or Actors Access. Is it the same? Actors Access and Backstage?
Actors Access. I see. Okay, so Actors Access is a website for the listeners. It's a website, and you can post a profile, and you can post your pictures. If you have an agent, you can post your agent's information, but you don't need an agent to post on Actors Access. I see. So that is the British version of Actors Access. Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you can do everything on Spotlight actually yourself. You can, I think you can even apply, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. So you do have an agent, clearly. Mm-hmm. And how did you get that agent?
Actually, I was very lucky. I tried because I think it's different than theater. In TV and film, you have to get in contact with people. You have to make connections. And I was in a film festival and I met her there. And then it appeared that it took, I would say, a year or two. I had a different agent at that time. And suddenly she came up to me and she said, what do you think? Do you want to change agencies? And then it took me even half a year, but I thought about it and I was very happy that she came to me, and I'm very blessed and very happy that I'm there. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Now, I love going to visit you in Berlin and love where you live. So why don't you just describe your neighborhood just briefly, because I think it's one of the most charming neighborhoods in Berlin.
Yeah, I think it's a very great place to be and to live. We have the good chance in Berlin that the rents are not that high like New York or any other city probably in America. It's very, you can afford it, and it's very cozy because it's the old houses from around 1900, and they all modernized it, and so we have toilet in the apartment because there were dates that they hadn't, but now everything is really it's a very great place to be.
Yeah, and when I was with you performing in Theater des Westens, I had a moment where I almost stayed in Berlin. I really did. I loved the lifestyle so much. I loved living there, and I had to make a decision. And then I got that call from Bjork Lee telling me to come back to America and play Sheila in Chorus Line in the national tour. And so I made my choice, but I still love going back to visit. I mean, we can't now because of COVID, but soon. Yeah. Soon we will.
We will, hopefully, yeah. I remember the time when we went to Paris. It was so great.
No, doesn't that seem like so long ago? And it was just last year.
But I'm still wearing my coat, my wonderful coat.
Listeners, we went shopping one day in Paris, and both of us got coats. I got a jacket, she got a coat from the store. and we just had such a nice time walking around. We stayed in Montmartre, right behind Sacré-Cœur, and we just had such a lovely trip together.
Oh, yeah.
And you just went to, what was the city that you just went to with your son with the mineral baths?
With a mineral bath? Budapest. Yeah, of course. Mm-hmm. That is really great, yeah.
I want to go there too, and I really want to go back to Prague. That's on my list. And also Croatia. I'm really wanting to go there, when we can travel again. Are you in a lockdown right now in Berlin?
Yeah, actually, yes. Not a total lockdown. The shops are open, but no theater, no movies, no restaurants, no nothing. Yeah, just that you can buy your stuff. Yeah.
Did you have to get COVID tested to do this Crimmy?
Yes, I get now tested every 3 days or every 4th day. And actually, I feel fine with that because I prefer to know what's going on. And it's
And from what I've seen, filming sets are very safe because they need to get the work done. So they do what they need to do to make sure that everybody can be healthy and safe.
Yeah, but to be honest, I'm here now in Stuttgart doing that because my colleague got COVID. That's the reason. I got a very late call that I should come here and film for her, and I feel like terrible because the luck of the one person is the bad side for the other, and because COVID is really there,
But that happens all the time. In a dancing show, someone gets injured and then their understudy gets to go on. So
Absolutely.
It's good that you're at least on the list of people to call if they need you. That's great.
Yeah, I was very lucky that they thought about me because here in film business, you don't have the first cast and second cast. You don't have that. They really cast brand new. If somebody is not able to do it, then they find somebody brand new. And that happened to be me. And tomorrow I have my last day here.
Okay. Now, how do you deal with the fact of show business that sometimes you're working and sometimes you're not? How do you keep yourself busy and keep growing and stay positive in the times that maybe you're not working?
For myself, I prefer to do a lot of workout, even in the kind of acting that I do, like workshops, that I'm like working with other people. We have like self-made groups where we like make camera training and stuff like that. So I'm never bored. I'm always doing something. And even in the lockdown, we tried our best. Like, I'm a little bit like tired about Zooming right now, I must say. But can I say that? Zooming? That I'm to do Zoom?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Because I do it nearly every day. And I really want to touch the people, like hug them. But I never had the problem of like being really bored, even not in the lockdown, because I'm always have something to do or to learn or I don't know. And I have children, so I mean, if you have children, it doesn't really, you're never bored.
Yeah, I know that one. I'm so happy to talk to you because through the years, from the very first time that we worked together in the show, we've stayed friends. And to me, that is the best part about show business. Yes, we get to work and we get to do what we love, but then we meet these people and they become our close friends. And I just love that. I love the fact that I get to see you once a year or whenever we can.
Yeah, but like from every production I've done, there are mainly just 1 or 2 people that really, really stay. I wouldn't say that like I'm in connection with the whole company, and wouldn't be true to say that. You stayed. You stayed the whole time, and we had always a good connection. We never stopped having our friendship. It never stopped. We didn't like say, we didn't hear from each other for 5 years. We heard always permanently from each other, and that was really great.
Well, I love talking to you on a Sunday. Sunday seems to be like the day that we call each other or text, and it's just nice to know that you're thinking of the other person. And then when we want to go somewhere for a vacation, we say, where do you want to go? And it's really important because I think we understand each other. We're both moms. We're both actors. And both of us we take care of ourselves. And we don't depend on anybody else to take care of us. We have to do it all. And I think that that's one of the reasons that we have stayed such good friends.
Totally. Totally. And we both did Chicago. That connected us also.
Yes.
You were always a little earlier than I. You started Chicago before I started it. I think I started it like half a year later. And you had your child like, I think 2 or 3 years before I had it. And do you remember that I asked you, how is it with children and this profession? And you were like, okay, it's okay. I was like, oh my God, because I knew I was pregnant at that time. And I was like totally confused.
Yeah, and you were pregnant and you were asking me questions, and I just thought you were asking me questions I didn't know until you told me that you were having a child. And I think that's wonderful. And now your child is winning his volleyball tournament.
Yeah. He's a star. I love him.
So, Anja, what would you say is your favorite experience? Do you have one? Do you have a favorite job that you think about as like the best job you've ever done?
Oh, you mean in the past? Or in the future that will come?
Well, I will ask you about the future, but right now, of all the work that you've done, what's something that you really think of as like, wow, that was a special time?
Film-wise, I must say, it started for me that I could do international work because quite a lot of American productions are shooted in Berlin. And that gave me the possibility to work with Duncan Jones. And he had a film with Alexander Skarsgård, Paul Rudd, and Justin Theroux. And that was really great because to like just be colleague to these people, that really made me very proud. I think that was really already a highlight because then I found out that I really would love to look in this direction, you know, look more into the international direction. And if they even come to my house and I can work at home, like in Berlin, it's even better. So it's great. I love it. Yeah. And the other thing in musical theater, like we just talked about it, I would say Chicago is one of the best shows I've ever done. I love Anne Reinkin and I worked with her personally, and that was like really fulfilling, something that I always want to do a Fosse show, and there it was.
Yeah, same. My big dream was to do a Fosse show on Broadway, and I got to work with Anne Reinkin also, and you just get all that information from somebody who worked with Fosse, and that was amazing. That style of dance is my favorite. And to be able to perform that and listen to the orchestra play that music, amazing. I actually have a photo of you on my wall. You were Go to Hell Kitty.
Yeah.
So I have a photo of you in your costume, backstage, in this beautiful pose. So that's in a frame on my wall.
Oh, really?
I have this wall of performers. So we have a mutual person we know, Joachim.
Yes.
He is in Lion King. I have his photo on the wall as well. I wanted to ask you, you used to come to New York starting when you were 19 years old, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you used to come in the summer times.
I love New York in the summer. I know that everybody hates it and they are like leaving town, but I love it. I love this like sweating and it's so hot. And I like it. I like New York in the summer.
And you used to take classes, and you were just here, I want to say 2 years ago, or was it longer than that?
2016. Mm-hmm.
Okay, 2016. And then you saw all the shows that you possibly could, and we went to the beach. We also went to the beach, and we visited my family, because my family knows you. That was a good trip. And then I was in Berlin next. So we just go back and forth. And you were planning to come to New York, and then pandemic hit.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that you get back here soon.
I hope so too, because I love New York. Like at the beginning of my career, I went to New York every year. In between, sometimes just 3 weeks and sometimes 4 months. It depends on how much time I had in between shows. And always when I had free time, I went to New York. So New York is like a great place to be.
And I'm hoping that you get to do some filming here too. I'm hoping that your career takes you all over the place and that you get to be on a set. Because New York has a lot of film sets and they're doing a lot of shows, TV shows and films. So I'm hoping maybe you would even get to live here for a while. That would be super fun.
I would love it. Yeah, that would be great. I would love to work over there. Yeah, that would be great.
Are there any big dreams that you have? Like, what is something that you would really want to book and work on?
I want to do a film with Meryl Streep.
Wow, that's amazing.
I just need to be the one in the back who's holding the lamp. I don't care. But yeah, I think she is the best. Yeah, from my point of view, she's so fantastic.
Yeah, but you know what? Listeners, I would not be surprised to hear that this really happens, because so far everything Anja has wanted to do, she does. And she makes it happen because she works hard. So Anja, do you have any kind of advice you would give if you met one of our listeners, maybe someone who's just starting to work in show business? Is there anything that you learned over the years that you want to pass on?
Yeah, actually 2 advices, because the one is, if you have anything else that you could do next to be an actor or somebody who's working in the media, do it. But if you for yourself see that one possibility, being an actor, then go for it and never give. If you have anything in your life that you could do compares to acting, then, and is like as important as acting to you, then do that. But if there is nothing else and you really have to be an actor, then really go for it and never, never, ever give up.
Yeah, I thank you for that. That's really wonderful advice. And I've seen some people that I thought were quite talented. When things didn't happen right away, they would leave show business. And I know right now during the pandemic, a lot of people have left New York City because of the expense of living there. And I just want to say to everybody out there, when it's safe to come back and when the shows start opening again, come back and see your dreams through. Don't give up. This is not an easy career path, but I think the people that stick with it are the ones that are successful.
Yeah, you have to be strong. Yeah. You have really to stay strong.
And one thing I also wanted to say is that, like, Anja is speaking English right now, and she also speaks German. So if you have the ability to learn another language, that is really important. Now, my German is not good at all, but I am trying to learn it. One of the reasons I came back to the United States is that I was finding, like, I would have eventually been better at German, but I wasn't a really good German speaker at the time when I was offered to stay there. So I thought to myself, you know, if I do want to stay in Berlin, I really need to get perfect with the language.
Yeah, but I am not perfect. I always get casted as a neutral English speaker or a German, you know, and I'm not a native speaker, and of course, and I will never be probably, but that doesn't mean that you cannot work in the business in the international business. It's I mean, you have to be able to like really make a conversation, you know. I have an accent, as everybody can hear. I'm German, so what can I do? I'm gonna get cast like in Outlander. I am a German, you know. So
yeah, and I love that though. I mean, I just love that you are who you are, and that is what books you your jobs. You are this strong, powerful woman, and that's the kind of work that you get, and it's fantastic. Where can people find you? Do you have an IMDb?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. That's it comes by itself, actually. Sometimes you have maybe to look up and find out if everything is like really well posted, but mostly the productions put you on IMDb, so it is just there. And of course, everybody can find me on Anja Karmanski on IMDb.
Anja Karmanski. Well, Anja, I just want to thank you for joining me today. I hope you had fun on my Showgirl Tip the Day podcast. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you that you do that.
The Showgirl Tip of the Day podcast has original music composed by Joshua Holloway. Find him on YouTube, Joshua Holloway Music. This podcast is written by Michelle Bruckner and edited by Michelle Bruckner and Joshua Holloway. Find me on Instagram, Showgirl Tip of Day. Thanks for listening. We'll see you again next week with a new episode.